What's the delay for? He's standing right there. He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper. It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie guy. Boom. It's just like, boom, you're here.
Mate, what happened? I couldn't hear anything. Like, where was the intro song? Did you play it?
Yeah, I played it.
Okay.
It was because I had you muted or not added to the stream. I don't know. Anyway, I played it.
Okay.
It got played.
That's all right.
Yeah, how you going, G? Also, guest for this evening, Dave. How you doing, mate? Good to have you on.
Okay. Thanks for having me back, mate. Appreciate it. Good to see you both.
Good to see you, mate. Hey, are we just helping out the less fortunate on Friday nights now?
I think so. That's right. Yes.
The lost boys.
The lost boys of Cleveland who have
settled down. Settled down.
We're the lost boys of Cleveland.
Oh, mate, they're going to be good when they have the starting quarterback start throwing
of the future.
Yeah. No, just even 2020 when he gets on the park, when old Casey boys lights it up. Mate, he needed to start.
He's won one game. He's won one game, AJ, and he's up and about like a cock of the keep. Mate,
I've got to put my helmet out tonight.
We are 4-2.
Oh, I got my little. Yeah.
Hey,
4-2. Yes,
mate,
we have stumbled on the two biggest stumbling blocks in the AFC. This is why I'm here, mate. I wear the licks. I said to you that off screen. I said to you that in the message. I will. Yeah, Dave needs a shave. I'll give you the red. I only got out of the Royal Children's Hospital about 5 hours ago, so I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Wow.
You look a bit too old to be at the Royal Children's Hospital, dude. But you know, is it judged on mentality these days? Is it?
Yes, it's obviously the Browns thing. It's exactly right, Chris. Go Cats.
Go Cats. Here we go.
G and I won't be mates after tomorrow night, one way or t'other. But no, my daughter had to have double knee.
Oh, here we go. Everybody's in tonight. Now we've got Ben arcing up that the Vikings lost. Got the Cats on me. Yeah, it's fine. All right, that's whatever.
1-5 minus a
1-5. Jake, just quietly.
Minus a GM coach.
Quietly.
And you've got a bloke who is undermining everybody to. I messaged you this when we were talking last week or the week before about the bloke who's undermined everybody to make sure that he's going to be the top of the dung heap.
Who's that?
The bloke who was the pastor at KC who went to.
Oh no, he's not. He's not at where? At the Falcons?
Yes. Oh, sorry. No, I've got the Texans. I've gone.
You've got you're going Texans too. That's who you're talking about.
I'm just going with all the coaches that have been fired. I'm just putting them all lined up in one row.
No, they better start firing a few more if they don't want to miss out on somebody. Because interviews. Well, I don't know when interviews start. If they've started, I'm sure they're talking to people already or looking into it, and just having a few chats. Get on the phone, just a casual get together, maybe a beer at the pub. Hey, how's things looking?
No
I'm under strict instructions to keep things moving tonight, lads. So.
Yes.
I'm just conscious of, I think, just like a Daniel Jones run, we're going to go to about 9:45 and the wheels will fall off.
Yeah, it reminded me of, you have those, how you have those dreams. I don't know if you guys have had them, where it's not so, you're trying to get away from someone, no matter what you do, you can't get away. You either feel like you're being held back. Yeah, you feel like you're being held back by a big lack of band or something, or... Right. You just trip and stumble. No, I think
it's almost like he overbalanced and kicked forward. It was just. I messaged one of the guys today and said that he looked like he was.
Dude, what's going on in your joint, mate?
Sniper. The wife's getting an ice cream. It looked like he'd been a sniper.
It's like school, dude. You bring one for everybody. So you got one for everybody.
There is one for everybody.
There's one for everybody? Oh, that's a tub.
It's a cafe gelato, mate.
What is it?
It's a gelato. It's a coffee gelato. So there you go,
Ah.
mate. Pop round, mate. Pop round. We'll sort you out. You're in the hub, 25 days.
Hey, dude, you're going to eventually unwrap that picture, though, won't you?
That's how it was painted, mate. That was how it was painted.
Was it?
Good painters understand depth and perception.
Mate, he just didn't want to paint the rest of the picture. Said, "Screw this! I'm just going to paint it in packaging."
So listen, guys. So yeah,
sorry.
Daniel Jones, obviously.
I feel sorry for him, mate. And that would have really helped me out because I've got Daniel Jones in the future, and both teams I have Daniel Jones in. I think I had Dak Prescott, so I'm only starting Daniel Jones at the moment.
What would it have been? It would have been like a 90-yard touchdown run.
75? No, it was
an 88 yard.
88, was it?
But he had about 80 yards.
Where he was felled, it was about, I think, about an 88-yard run. I think it would have been a 93-yard run TD.
Okay, so that's 16 points. Roughly 15 point whatever.
In one play. Oh,
and he still did it like in the Scott Fish Bowl that we're in, like you lose points for interceptions, and he threw an interception, but he still put up decent points today, which is the first time he's done it for me all year, which is great. But I don't have Dak, so
yes.
Fingers crossed.
Philly, of course, with the win today, from 11 points down, mind you, with the win today, rocket, quote unquote, to top of the NFC East with a 2-4-1 record. The NFC least.
The NFL.
Yeah, that division.
There's some bad divisions this year.
It's wide open, which is an understatement. 80-yard run when he fell, fifth longest by a quarterback. Thanks, Andrew.
So if he had gone the distance, would he have moved up to maybe fourth or third?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We just saw all that daylight in front of him. Everybody was just like, go, go, go. I think everybody wanted him to get there.
His upper body outran what his lower body could do. That's his problem. It's just like, oh my God. Anyway, it is what it is. It was a bit of a spiteful game, you know.
There was a little bit of
which which is great. I like that. A little bit, not too good for Deshaun Jackson, obviously.
No, that was rotten. That hit.
Yeah, that was dirty. Like I don't mind spite and a bit of the old rough and tumble, mate. But that's bullshit. He's already down. He knew he was down.
No,
how do you?
The flag was on the initial hit. I thought it was going to be on that second guy. Surely that was a personal foul because he was down.
What was the flag on the first hit for? Don't say lowering the helmet because Deshaun Jackson's helmet was may almost put it on his own knees.
They did call it something like that. They did.
I didn't see it, so I can't comment.
No, it wasn't helmet.
Helmet, or was it flagrant foul, or was it?
I didn't think it was a foul. But Deshaun Watson ducked his head right into it.
As Matt says here, should have been two flags. That's what I thought too. The second guy who came in, whoever that was.
Well, that should have been to me. That was the only flag to me.
And that bent him over. No, the flag was actually on the first guy.
Yeah, but I don't agree with the first flag. It should have been the one on the second, and the guy should have been ejected. Like he was down already. He'd been down for like 5 minutes by the time.
I know. Well, not 5 minutes, but basically, I mean, really hurt him. Really bent him round.
Yeah. So what's happened with him?
Deshaun Jackson.
No
idea.
No, but what's happened to Deshaun Jackson? What's wrong with him?
No idea.
No idea? Okay.
No.
Oh.
Don't have an update on that yet. Big news of the week, essentially. So the Vikings have been... Sorry?
Oh, I thought you said the big news was the Vikings win. The Falcons win.
Oh, the Falcons win. Danielle Hunter is out for the year. That's now been confirmed. He's been on IR for a good while, and now he's out for the year, which is a shame. The Vikings also, actually very interestingly, because they confirming Hunter being scrubbed for the year, traded Yannick Ngakoue, who they'd only just recently acquired from the Jags, and they traded him to the Ravens, which makes that defense like unbelievable. I mean, they made a bit of a profit on it, but it's a strange move. Idenegbu, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, is pretty good. Is a pretty good replacement on one side, but I don't know who they've got on the other side of that line. Ben
You
might
should
be able
know.
to tell us.
You're
Sorry?
the defensive guy.
Yeah, well, I would have said
Don't ask offensive lineman from
Ngakwe. I would have said Ngakwe.
So
But anyway,
obviously, the Vikes have come out actually in front with that in regards to what they traded away to Jacksonville in return. He's also only the third player in NFL history to be traded within something like 30 days or 60 days of being traded. So there's only 3 players that have ever happened to, and he's the third. But the question I had was he'd signed the franchise at the Vikes for $12 million with a $4 million signing bonus. Yet the Ravens only had $7.48 million left in their salary cap. And the other big news out of today was who else did the Ravens sign to their practice squad?
I believe it's Des Bryant.
Desi Bryant, yeah.
Yep.
Now I can't imagine he'd be taking minimum.
Yeah, mate, he's like an F1 driver. He's a paid driver.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
he's paid. He's
paying to
paid.
be on the practice squad, is he?
Hey,
Okay. Well, I'll be
yeah,
interested
sure.
to see how those figures come out because obviously he's
I don't think Des can put his hand up for too much money, to be honest, mate. Because
no
one's really.
there wasn't. But what I'm saying is there wasn't much money in the kitty to begin with. There's only 7.4, and Yannick. No,
You just want to get on the park at this stage.
Yeah.
Do what Cam Newton did. Neil's saying that they moved back one round for a 6-week loan. They actually made a loss. I didn't realize they made
I thought they were actually.
I thought they made a slight profit. So anyway, that's very interesting. And Ben's saying DJ Wanham. So there you go. That's why I don't know him because no one knows him. DJ Wanham on the other end of the line. Yes. Why did they do it? Why did they do it? I don't understand.
Super Bowl run clearing the deck.
Yeah, mate, for Justin Fields, mate, perhaps. But anyway, in other news, the NFL trade deadline is approaching. I mean, obviously, we're seeing a few trades drop down now. A few interesting names I might just throw into the ring, guys, for you to hashtag discuss. You can say call bullshit, or you can say ooh, or I don't know, something else. Kyle Rudolph. What was that? Ooh. Is it okay?
I'm actually trying to think who'd want him.
Well, not only who would want him, but what are they trying to achieve getting rid of him?
Well, they got Irv Smith, who's starting to get some playing time and is pretty good.
When they throw him the ball, he's pretty good. Yes.
Yep.
So I think it is time to move on from Kyle Rudolph. It wasn't that long since they paid him. What was it?
No, that's right. I know. True. Okay,
So,
I'll keep going.
I don't really know who'd want to trade for Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, I know the
To be honest,
Cincinnati. If they're going to get rid of AJ Green,
yeah, but is it worth trading for him? Like, I don't know how old is he?
he's 30. Kyle Rudolph is 30.
30. No, well, why? You're starting from where you are with T. Higgins and Burrows on your offense. Tyler Boyd's still I think he still hasn't reached his prime yet.
No.
Why would you go and trade for a 30-year-old tight end?
I was just
Neil, got a suggestion? Arizona.
Yeah.
There we go. He'd go there and not, he's not going to get a target there either.
I was going to say but more importantly, how's his blocking skills? As a blocker, as a tight end blocker, there you go, 50 million or 49 million over the next 4 years.
There you go.
How much of it's guaranteed, Ben? That's the one he'll know. But I mean, you guys have right up on the stats. How good is he as a blocker? So going into that Arizona offense,
I actually think he's quite good. Ben will tell me. I think he's quite good as a blocker.
I think he is reasonable. Yeah.
There you go. Well, maybe he's right. Yeah, go to Arizona, protect Kyler Murray. Be that if
he's no Gronk.
No, he's no Gronk. No, but if they decide to run a 2 tight end set or even a 3 tight end set, he'll be a good blocker for them. Yeah, potentially.
3 tight. Have they got one? Let alone running 3.
I'm sure they have
Mate,
three.
Did you see Kyle on the weekend, man? The dude just, mate, he takes the smallest steps I have ever seen.
Well, when you get
And he-
inside 4
and
feet,
they
of course
move-
you take 4
they-
steps.
They move so quickly, though.
He does. Yeah.
Damn. Mate, he's
Yeah.
in and out. It's just Rudolph is a great blocker and end zone guy.
There you go. So
Yeah,
there you go. So red zone, beautiful, and on the line. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, mate, I watch him on the weekend. He just runs amok around people. And I like how, mate, he just collapses in the heat. I'm not going anywhere. I'll just drop on the ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
He turns into a ragdoll as soon as anyone turns up to hit him.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, protect him.
That's good, mate. He got cleaned up a couple of times in college, and I thought, mate, if this guy gets cleaned up in the pros, he might not be coming back on the field.
He's dead.
Okay. Let me give you another name. Another name
he's smart.
Another name that's been out there quite a bit. Zach Ertz.
Nah.
He looks dusted this year. Now, then again, let's be fair. If you look at the game on the weekend, some of the balls that were thrown to him did not do his fantasy points. No, they were just bad balls. So not all on him. Not all on him. So don't look at the numbers and think, have a look at go and have a look at the vision, and they'll tell you a different story.
Yeah.
That's just a lay term. Dave, you'd know the official medical term for bad balls. Whatever that is.
Bad balls.
In high school, wasn't it called blue? No.
Well, what do you call them then? You
Well,
give them bad balls.
There's testicular torsion, and you don't want that. I'll give you the
No.
Sam Darnold.
You know what? I've heard this, and it's come up a lot this week, obviously, and I wouldn't rule it out entirely. There is a fire sale going on there, and I just don't know what is going on with Adam Gase. They got rid of a linebacker to the 49ers. They got rid of I think a D lineman. They've got Quinnen Williams potentially up for trade. They've got all sorts of stuff going on in there. That joint is a dumpster fire, and somebody needs to take it over, whether they, the NFL puts their hands on the franchise or the owners actually step up to the plate and go, yeah, all right, we're going to put our hands up and go over.
Mate, the owner's not in the country.
Probably can't fly in, fair point. But you know what I'm saying, that someone needs to step in and go, because clearly the two coordinators, being Bounty
right?
and Adam Gase, they do not get along. They were fighting on the boundary line on the sidelines the other day. That joint is an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, you listen to even blokes like Dan Hansis, who's a diehard Jets fan. He is absolutely just gutted and devastated. It's like a bloke who's lost the will to live in regards to that team. And I reckon they are. They're clearing the decks. I mean, they got rid of Le'Veon Bell.
It makes you wonder because
You might as well get Liv. You weren't using him anyway.
No,
Yes,
but they were doing that deliberately, though.
it makes you wonder that if they are the team with the number one pick, if you were Trevor Lawrence or his agent,
You've got 1 year left at college. You might as well go back and do another year because I ain't going.
you wouldn't want to go to the Jets, would you?
No,
I mean,
hell no.
the expectation is when you're a high draft pick, you're probably going to a bad team, and that's a fair call. But this bad a team?
Barrow must be going there's all the talk about not going to Cincy, mate.
Yeah.
He's looking at Cincy going, mate. This is like playing at the Patriots for the last 20 years compared to the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, let's be fair. Since he doesn't have hot running water, their electricity system's a little bit dodgy. Don't plug anything in to charge your iPhone because you may get electrocuted. But it's not the Jets.
I was actually watching a movie the other night. I sat down and watched Major League. Remember that movie?
How good a movie.
Where the jet bar thing doesn't work, so they put the little propeller engine in it. That's Cincy. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. That is
don't stretch your feet out. That's all.
Brown will not spend a dime on that joint, but it keeps on ticking, and it's got potential. I'm actually nervous about this week. If you want to talk about head to heads, I'm actually nervous, but we'll come to that later. That's shenanigans. But yeah, no. Jets are dumpster fire.
A couple of
absolutely.
suggestions here. Pete says to Dallas. Ben says Vikings. Dale says to Indy.
I could see him going to Indy if they're going to do anything. I could see him going to Indy. Imagine Darnold and your old bloke Phil, if they got to spend the last 10 weeks together, the knowledge that Philip Rivers could impart on Sam Darnold. I like the kid. I think he's got so much potential. I like him more than what's at the Bills. But he's just been left floundering, hasn't he? Really, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Mate, he's been bobbing in the ocean, mate. He's been given a life jacket, and then he's blown up. There's a little leak in it, and he kept them.
Exactly right.
That
life jacket's already been nibbled on by the rats that are in CRAP Airlines, and yeah,
the little light doesn't work, and the whistle doesn't work. The ball's gone out of the whistle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's certainly a lot of talk about how Adam Gase is still in a job, but rather cynically, I heard a few people say, well, if your aim is to get the first pick in the draft, well, then Adam Gase is your best actual candidate.
Well, he is, because, I mean, you can transpose what's happened in the NFL this week and from the AFL. You think about every time now, you two boys support AFL teams that have turned over their coaches faster than you and I turn over our socks at Father's Day. Every time a coach is sacked in the AFL, team goes out and wins. What happened this week? Falcons and the Texans both went out and won.
Yeah.
So if you want that 0-16 or 1-15, because
the Falcons won. Just go zip.
Imagine Trevor Lawrence at the Falcons.
See, he'd probably say yes to that, because it's not a badly run organisation.
He'd say hell yeah. He would say hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was trying to be gentle, I don't want to go all in, because I don't want to make the Falcons actually sound really good, because they could potentially be.
No, don't, mate. They'd go and get like some defensive end that turns out to be nothing.
Yeah, he's
a track record.
He's got 15 arrest warrants outstanding. Yeah.
So anyway, but I do like the Philip Rivers. Like, go to Indy, learn off Philip Rivers.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Actually, Philip Rivers looked okay on the weekend.
He did. I think he heard all the criticism, and he was like, "Ooh, I better put in a special effort." A couple of other names. Dwayne Haskins.
Can I just interject in regards to another quarterback?
Yep.
Go.
Yep.
He's gone. And another one, I feel sorry for him.
Who's that? Sorry, mate, you dropped out.
Dwayne Haskins. I feel sorry for him.
Oh,
I don't understand the Dwayne Haskins move. I don't get it. Your team's not going to be that good this year. Why don't you just stick with Dwayne Haskins, and then if it doesn't work out, we just move on. You got Kyle. You got Kyle Allen. That's right.
Kyle Allen.
Yeah. Mate, he's going to be here anyway. If you don't go and get another quarterback, like just.
I said this to you guys the other week. Dwayne Haskins, for whatever reason, and I don't want to slight the kid, because he threw 5,000 yards and got 50 touchdowns. Yes, it's with Ohio State.
Yeah.
And yes, the Buckeyes are a factory, and we know that. And the system is set up for them to succeed. But he is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He didn't get the brother of the LA Chargers. Las Vegas Raiders game plan, and they sat with him and they did essentially after school learning with him. They've done the same thing this time with Riverboat Ron. Hey,
they did Kumon, whatever it's called.
Yes, yeah, they did essentially Kumon with him.
Kumon.
And unfortunately, Haskins doesn't get it. He's a 1-2 read option. He's a drop back, and he'll run occasionally, but he's very robotic. He's very clunky in the feet. it's the wide receivers that made him look as good as he is. And I hate to say it, but I think the kid's probably going to be washed up. He's going to be another bloody Rosen.
Quite likely.
I think Rosen's got more talent, but there you go.
Yeah,
But Rosen's got more issues.
Rosen certainly came into the league with much better.
Breeding.
Well, I was going to say much better sort of performances, much better sort of profile
Does the value
than Haskins, but still, it speaks a lot to landing spot, doesn't it? Really, and situation. Like Rosen is really the
to a point, AJ. To a point, you can land in a good spot, mate. If you're not talented, you're not talented. Sorry.
It's more about landing in a bad spot, G.
You'd like to think though that talent can overcome a bad situation.
Yes,
because someone will see your talent, and realize you're in a bad situation. Where you can be in a good situation, and if you don't have talent, doesn't matter how good the coaching is. If you don't have it, you don't have it. That's just my opinion.
Yes.
I'll give you the example. I'll use Formula One as the analogy. Good teams see good drivers in bad cars.
Yes.
Hence the reason Haas has just sacked everybody.
Yeah, and that's how they spotted people. You know, you look at the guys that in Formula One now at the top, except for people that have been given a red carpet basically. But there's a lot of drivers that start in lower teams and end up in great teams because they see what they can do with a shit car. So you get a good quarterback with a shit team, and other teams see what you can do.
Yes,
so,
very true.
Yep. No chance. Anyway.
The last name I put on my list here, Dave, you can comment on this. I think David Njoku.
I know there's a big sigh. I think he is gone.
Yep.
When you sign Drew Rosenhaus causes waves. Drew Rosenhaus gets paid on what you can get him for getting yourself the next contract. For me, Njoku is a baby in the game. He'd played 1 year at Miami in a average, just side, coming out of soccer, high jump, athletics, not the sport. He's got potential. He's got the athleticism. He's got the physique. He's got the mojo. But he drops stuff. He can catch when he chooses to, I believe. I might be being harsh. I think he is gone, but I don't believe he would be worth a large contract as your number one tight end.
Interesting.
That's just my opinion. I love the guy. His passion and the way he speaks and his stance on a number of things, and obviously all the shenanigans going on in Nigeria at the moment. His family's Nigerian, so all that stuff. He's very articulate, but I'm just not 100% sold on him.
Now there's a good tight end for a quarterback like Kyle
Allen.
No,
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. Sorry, thanks.
He doesn't block.
No, but he's not there to block.
But everyone know that. This is the problem. You'll scheme it to know that when he's on, so he becomes even less effective than he is now.
Maybe Arizona's becoming the new destination for players that the Patriots were. With a quarterback like
with Kyler Murray.
With a 5'7" quarterback who's got size 4 feet.
The dude can fling a football. The dude can sling a footy.
Yeah, when he's outside the pocket in an open zone and ducking, dodging, weaving, if you can dodge a spanner, you can play dodgeball.
Yeah, that's it. duck, dodge, dive.
Urban-
I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called.
He's pretty amazing. Well, let's
Maybe
segue from
maybe Dad was a mechanic, and that's how he learned to do that. Just getting spanners and wrenches and large screwdrivers.
No, they were baseballers, mate. They were firing. The jugs machine at him.
Oh.
let's segue from the discussion of one quarterback to another quarterback because we have a change in Miami. We have a new quarterback
That was where I was heading. That was where I was heading.
starting this week. Tua
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Well done, G.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa will be starting. It was very sad for Fitzpatrick. It feels a little bit like a planned move. Like maybe they decided,
badly
well,
planned
we'll
move.
just we'll just decide to do it at this point in the season because they got the bye week. So it feels planned.
This is
But-
where my issue rises.
Isn't this where you sort of look at your plan and you think, well, is this really the best time?
Exactly. Exactly. There's a couple of little layers to this problem I have.
Yep.
They have just spanked an injury depleted 49ers.
Yep.
And they did it well.
Yes.
They spanked the Jets. Not a huge issue, but they did it.
That's
Then
what you do to bad teams, Dave. You spank them.
Absolutely, you do. No arguments there, mate. No arguments there.
Careful.
But
We'll get blocked. All this talk of spanking.
the then you look at the sideline footage of Fitz sitting with him, going through, coaching, letting him know what he might see, what he's going to see, what he's potentially going to see, what to look for. You've got to roll right instead of left. You've got to roll left instead of right.
Yeah.
Fitz is brilliant. Fitz
He
is,
is.
I love the bloke. Absolutely love him to pieces. You've got a week off. Why the hell would you not, if you're going to do it on the day or the day before? Because the team you're about to face is
No.
I don't know who they're playing this week.
Not sure.
No idea.
okay. So they come, or not this week, it's next week, isn't it? Because they got the week off.
Yeah, they do.
They-
Next
they
week,
come-
I don't know who they're playing.
So the team that you're going to play is going to be like the Chargers were. They don't know how the hell to match up against Till.
Who is it?
Why
they
would
playing?
you? I'll have a look now. Why would you let known that you're swapping now? Now all of a sudden, whoever you're playing goes into the footage of Alabama over the last year and a half, 2 years. All of a sudden now they've got some film on him. If you did it on the day, they're going to
true.
we're planning for Fitz. We're planning for Fitz. We're planning for Fitz. Holy crap!
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
bloody Tua. Okay, well, we're going to have to change things up. We're going to have to play it by ear. They've ruined themselves there. They've ruined a bloke who's put them in a good position to, as I was getting to before with Sam and
The Rams. Yep.
Phillip. Yeah. Well, there you go. The Rams. There you go. Beautiful. Thanks, Neil. You've still got that. You had, and you listen to his interviews.
Aaron
the last-
Donald.
Well, that's exactly right. Exactly right, mate. He's thrown to the wolves. Aaron's going to absolutely just maul on him. But Fitz is older and wiser. He would have gone, yeah, right, I know what to do here to an extent because their line isn't the worst. It's not
No.
leaking holes like a sieve. So I really, really admire the fact that he goes, I just got sacked and I had to spend the next 10 hours in a meeting, in Zoom meetings with the bloke who's taking my position and the bloke who fired me. And, he came out honestly and said, my heart ached. He has done for the last couple of years for that Miami Dolphins team what no other player could.
Yep.
I love the bloke. And he's a guy that, you could take to a team. Sam Darnold. You probably can't teach Kyler Murray anything because he probably knows everything. If you ask him. Kyle Allen is probably a bloke that you could.
I see a little bit of jealousy there for guys under 6 quarterbacks. AJ, don't you?
You could go to Washington for Kyle Allen. There's guys that Fitz would be just the most amazing mentor to, and Miami have, excuse the French, shat the bed.
Yeah.
What I'm more interested in is not the look. Do I agree with? No. Yeah, I think you only have to watch on any given Sunday. Overrated movie.
Overrated.
How the team
The corner with you.
how thanks, mate. How the team gets around Fitz. How the defense react when he comes off the bench, mate. They love him.
Absolutely, and he loves them.
He does. He's loving it. They all know. The whole team knows that what he's doing. He's loving what he's doing. He's giving them up. There's no such thing as 110%, obviously, but he's given them 100% of everything that he's got.
Absolutely, because he knows
Mate, only what are we up to? Week 7.
Week 6. Well, heading into week 7.
Mate, the season's long, so eventually we know the wheels will probably fall off Fitz. They always have.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Why don't you just wait till then? Mate, he's got you in a good position.
Absolutely. But he could also I'm not
professional.
feeling great. Yeah, granted. But he could also be smart enough and wise enough now that he knows this is his last roll of the dice. And he could actually go, you know what? Put Tua in next week. I'm not right. I'm not feeling right. I think he might have that insight enough. As much as he's got that killer instinct and he's a true competitor and he's a gentleman and he's, a showman and all that sort of stuff, I reckon he's also got the insight enough to go, yeah, you know what? I reckon I'm done or I'm close to being done. Put Tua in and I'll be his backup. I'll be his mentor. But give him the option to do it. He's looked after you for 2 years or, year and a half.
He might be in by half time, mate. He better get on that exercise bike because Aaron Donald's going to be coming after, like we said. After Tua. They might be saying, mate, just keep that arm warm. Okay.
Absolutely.
Just keep it warm. This might not end up too well. But anyway. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on, mate. What are we up to?
Let's move on.
Sorry.
The last thing I wrote down was, I don't know what to make of this, and it's not official yet, but seems to be movement by the Seahawks to sign Antonio Brown. So he's coming out of his 8-game suspension. Interestingly, I thought it was funny. I thought it was interesting and noteworthy. So Adam Schefter broke the news that the Seahawks had an interest in signing AB. And 3 hours before he tweeted it, he picked up Antonio Brown in all of his fantasy teams. So 3 hours before he did his tweet, he went. His first thought was, "I'll go pick up AB in all my fantasy teams."
Mate, you go to jail for that stuff.
I suppose if you're if you work hard enough to get the inside word and suck up enough people and kiss enough butts, you can go out and do that stuff. I suppose I'd do it.
Still not close. Yeah, but you don't make it quite as obvious as getting him in every one of your.
It's exactly the same as when you see guys leave football teams, no matter what code it is, and all of a sudden everything about the team that they're on is deleted like the day before. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, AJ.
All right. So let's get on to the main order of business. And G came up with a fantastic topic for this week. And we're trying to mix it up, not
every
doing
week.
the same thing every week. And I realized, G, Dave, you may not have not be across this, and that's okay. You can kind of give your 2 cents to what we throw up here.
Random thoughts. Yeah, I'm all up for that.
Yeah. Literally throw up, I think, in some instances. Well, actually, you know what? The thing about this, G.
No.
The thing about this, so we're putting together a rookie squad this week. For this week, a rookie squad.
Nice.
Now, this rookie class, this is an incredible rookie class. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean,
they're on fire, mate. They're on fire at the moment, this rookie class.
It's amazing. Yep.
And if there's anything that I would have thought about this year, and this was not an original thought, I think 70, 80% of people were kind of along the lines that the rookies were really going to struggle this year because of the lack of preseason and the lack of well, I should preseason games, lack of mini camps or sort of, meaningful contact practice.
Yep.
But contrary to that, this rookie class has been a fantastic class.
They've been amazing.
And in terms of fantasy, you almost couldn't go wrong. There's not been many misses.
No, not from
Literally
the guys that you expected to be good.
No.
They've lived up to the billing and the hype.
The hype.
Yes. Yeah.
Outside of a couple of random injuries in the preseason.
And then we'll find out now what Tua. The hype about Tua, if it's worth it.
Yeah, well, he's going to be probably. I reckon he's going to be a genuine barometer.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's been everyone else. You look at Lamb, you look at Jed, and I'm looking all over the field here. You look at Queen. You look at all these guys that have come in their different positions. They have really, really shone.
Yeah.
And some of them in good terms.
Mate, don't bring up Queen, dude. It's not.
I know.
That's
I know.
really touchy subject here. Okay. No, seriously, mate. Don't bring it up. I can't reach AJ through the monitor. All right. I only live around the corner. So
I know you
it'd
do.
be like one of those. It'd be like a Simpsons thing. You know how
Homer
Homer grabs
yeah.
Bart.
yeah. All right. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to put together our week 6 rookie team, because what we're doing each week is we're having a different team every week. And Andy, I will get round to
Putting all the points together.
putting the points together. AJ has to send me the first week. I have the second week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
You might have to listen back to the pod,
Yeah.
G, which you don't
that's
usually
your
do.
job. No, I don't listen to the pod because I don't want to hear my own voice. Okay, so let's get on to this. So let's go.
Yeah.
The head of our rookie team is the quarterback. So it's a 2-horse race basically at the moment.
Mhm.
It's a 1-horse
And-
race.
Well, I thought.
Did you go the other horse?
No, I did not go the other horse.
No. How
So,
could you go the other horse?
Everyone's gone for AJ for Herbert. It's okay. It's all good.
We had to go for Herbert.
Outside of that, it's Justin Love.
And listen, and G did allude to this. We had a conversation during the week. I said, look, I was not a fan of Herbert particularly. Obviously, I wanted Tua in the draft. I shed a little tear, or maybe a lot of tears, when they picked Herbert.
I still remember the night after the first 3 or 4 days of the camp that they actually got through, in Indianapolis. And I said to you, the word coming out from everyone I was listening to was that Herbert was going to the Chargers, and your face looked like a dropped pie. And you know what? It shouldn't, mate. It shouldn't. He looks all right. He looks good.
Well, he does. And it was just that I really liked Tua. When the Finns took Tua, I was like, oh, far out. Well, my feeling was you take Isaiah Simmons and you move down, because I didn't really want Herbert. But look, you roll the dice, and sometimes, you get snake eyes, and sometimes you don't, do you? So,
Snake eyes bad?
Snake eyes is bad, I think, isn't it?
Okay. I have no idea. I'm not a gambler.
Or you get sevens. I don't know. Is that good?
Okay. So let's just have
yeah, you're spot on.
Let's just have a look at Justin Herbert then, who's up against the Jags this week, who are ranked 18th against quarterbacks and giving up almost 20 fantasy points. Now, since he started in week 2, KC 22 fantasy points, Carolina 14, who have been good against the passing quarterback so far this season, but everybody runs 30 touchdowns in 10 games against them. Tampa Bay for 23 fantasy points, at New Orleans for 27.5. So that's the 4 games. He had the bye week in there. So this is where he stands at the moment amongst all starting QBs. Number 4th in yards.
Oof.
8th in completion rate. Now, granted, there are some guys that have high completion rates, but they've only been 1 week guys or whatever. They've thrown 4 balls. Doesn't count.
So that should be taken out of the stats, shouldn't it?
When you look up completion, it just gives you everybody that's thrown, and you have to work it out for yourself on some sites.
Right.
And obviously, yards per attempt. third. Pass attempts per game, he's 35th, but I don't think he's throwing a lot of balls. There's a lot of guys throwing a ton of balls around at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even do on a Burrows that throwing 60.
Yeah, he's on top. He leads that by a mile. Touchdowns 9, 3 interceptions. Yeah, I don't know how good he's going to be this week. Burrows could be better this week because everybody is running on the Jags at the moment. They're giving up 30.5 fantasy points to running backs.
Yeah.
7 TDs, which is the 4th most in the NFL. So I still think he's going to throw a few balls, but this might be a game for the backs. But he's our consensus rookie quarterback this week, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Dave,
Definitely.
thumbs up?
Yeah,
Good?
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, your number 2 is probably Burrows. Yes.
Well, he's the only other one. Who else has got a starting quarterback? Rookie quarterback.
Hasn't
Two is
started
on a
yet.
bye. Two is on a bye. So
Both of them haven't started, and Tua had what?
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
snaps.
So it wasn't a big school day.
No.
Okay, so let's go across to the running backs.
Yep. Well, look.
Okay, so who have you got, AJ? Who'd you put down into 2 running backs?
Okay, and also I've got a running back in my flex, so I'm going to mention 3, but I'll mention.
Oh, well, wait till we get to the flex.
Okay, well I'll mention 2 now. I've got DeAndre Swift.
You do realise that flex is a different position on the piece of paper when you look at it.
Yes.
Like I said, yeah. So let's wait till we get to the
They
flex.
both always have to be running back.
Yeah. DeAndre Swift playing the Falcons this week, and perhaps Matt Patricia has finally worked out that DeAndre Swift is bloody good.
What the fuck are you doing?
And the crazy thing is,
He dropped
the crazy thing is, G.
touchdown pass that would have won in the game.
Yes, true, but listen, he's a rookie. So listen,
Nerves.
if
He's
DeAndre
sorry.
Swift had been playing for the Chiefs, if the Chiefs had picked him at the end of the first round, we would be just like, oh, DeAndre Swift, how amazing is this dude? It's just because we haven't seen the guy. He's not getting on the park. He's not getting a fair shake. But now he's starting to. And lo and behold, and you sort of think that, I mean, look, what do we know? What do we know? Matt Patricia isn't a coach in the NFL, but sometimes it's like, come on, it seems to us to be so damn obvious that this guy is your best back. Get him on the park, and you're going to have a better chance of actually winning football games. Anyway, looks like it's actually happening. His stats far...
That was pretty much proved last week, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
26
26
carries
attempts.
for 116 yards.
Yeah, I mean, given that he hasn't had that much, that many runs, but 26 attempts for 158 yards for 6.1 yards per average, 3 touchdowns, and then add to that 16 receptions for 131 and a touchdown as well.
Yeah.
And playing the Falcons, so like mic drop.
Hey, mate, the Falcons did very well. They stopped one of the best running backs last week in Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, very true. Yep.
Dude, he wasn't
Did he
playing.
play? No. They stopped Alexander Madison.
They did stop Alexander, who is basically the same person.
Almost.
Yeah, but mate, you're just starting everybody against the Falcons every week, aren't you?
Did you have Swift, G?
I did have Swift, without a doubt, mate. The Falcons are giving up 25.6 fantasy points, ranked 24th against RBs this year.
Yep.
Oh, thanks, Neil. Gives us we got something right in Neil's
We got a
eye.
tick.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so who's your second running back?
James Robinson.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Yeah, James Robinson.
Flex.
Right, he was-
4.3 yards per carry average, yes, and 362 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. Looking very good, and they play the Chargers this week, so we've got a few players in that game. But anyway, so James Robinson.
Okay.
G, you don't have him, G?
No, well, I watched him last week, and he was. If it wasn't for the touchdown, helped him like his fantasy numbers without a doubt.
Okay.
I don't think he looked as effective last week, but I'm sticking with Clyde Edwards-Helaire up against Denver this week, mate. He's yet to be under 11 fantasy points for you all year. He's had 3 games of 18 plus. Had a great game last week. Now, granted, the Broncos are ranked 3rd against the run. They're only giving up 17.26 per game and 1 TD for the whole year. But, when you go up against the Chiefs and Patty Mahomes and the offense that they have and the strike power, mate, basically most of the time the last person you're worried about, is the running back.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give him the points based on that. I'm trusting this offense to keep churning along, Paddy to keep throwing the ball, the defense to be keeping eyes on Kelsey and Miko Hartman and Hill. And Hill and even Sammy Watkins. These are all guys when they're on the park. You can't keep them out of your sight. Well,
no,
let him
exactly.
So I'll stick with Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week, mate.
That's a good one. Well, I actually have him in my flex, so
okay. We're not talking
So
about flexes yet.
I picked you as your flex, AJ. Was Clyde?
Yep. So,
Okay.
and I think the big question at this point, we might just mention it briefly, is the effect of Lev Bell. I don't think Lev Bell's getting on the park this week. I haven't heard that official, but I don't think he is. So I think this is still the CEH show for week 7 at least. But I sort of feel when you look at the breakdown of snaps, it's not like CEH is like the only back that they're using.
No.
And I think that the play that they're getting out of their second back in the second quote unquote, or next backs in the rotation is left a bit wanting, So I think Lev Bell comes in and takes all of that. And I think CEH basically is going to stay the same kind of snap share. That's my
It's going to be very interesting with Lev Bell now. He's on an extremely good offensive team.
Yep.
It's time to shut up and get the job done.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you're right there, G. I think he'll slide in as a number 2 back for the time being.
Yeah.
Number 2 back at KC will slide back to number 3. He will do his job, keep his trap out, and if Clyde has any form of soreness, injury, or they want to rest him because he is a rookie, and rookies traditionally get tired weeks 8 through 12, he's the perfect man to slide in, pick up the number 1 spot. 3 becomes 2. Clyde gets rest. Clyde then slides back into 2. And they can flick it then between 50-50, much like Cleveland have done and was doing before Nick got injured,
Yeah. And the thing about Lev Bell, very good inside the red zone.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Amazing.
Very good. Yeah.
And you can use him in multiple phases.
Yeah. And you destroy all of Clyde Edwards-Helaire's profit. It's all gone. It's just the touchdown profit just walked out the window. So he's going to have to burst one from about 25.
He's going to have to do a Daniel Jones and not trip over at the 7.
Yeah, that'd help. Yeah. He's going to have to be like the running back is the Julio Jones of the running backs. Like you can't catch him inside the 10, but if you catch him outside the 25, touchdown.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to have to be. Okay, so talking about, they see the shift across wide receivers.
Yeah.
Who have you got the other one, wide receiver, AJ?
Now, again, with this draft class, wide receivers, man, this class of wide receivers, there's barely been any that haven't hit. So the first one I put in is a guy who's already had 36 receptions for 497 yards and 2 touchdowns. I dare say that leads rookie receivers. I dare say it does. I haven't checked. Is CD Lamb. And the argument you might make is a 2-word argument is Andy Dalton.
The Dalton
Yep. But he did have 7 for 64 with Dalton. And I think just the talent is going to override the situation. Obviously, if you had Dak there, that would be better. And that's just crazy, stupid understatement of the year. But I think this guy has shown how amazingly talented he is, how good a route runner he is, how good his hands are, how precise he is. That I think he's going to overcome.
Number 10, mate. Number 10 on the
On the list.
Wide
on the
receivers.
wide receivers list. Yep.
Right.
And look,
Yep.
I'll say now, since you brought up your flex and you blew it all, I've got CD Lamb as my flex.
Okay.
At Washington this week, but mate, Washington have been fantastic against wide receivers this year. They're ranked number 1.
Are they really?
Yes, they ranked number 1 against wide receivers. It was either between CD Lamb, mate. I was going to go the big splurge and go the glory, and I was going to put in Henry Ruggs.
Yep.
For the big play, and they're up against Tampa this week. But no, I went Lamb. I'll give you what he's done this year. He's yet to be in single digits of fantasy points.
Wow.
He gave you 10.9 against LA, who are ranked number 2 against the pass. Now this is where it starts to drop away. So 17.5 against Atlanta, who ranked 28th. 11.6 against Seattle, who are ranked dead last, as we all know. They're getting murdered through the air. 25.2 versus Cleveland. Sorry, Dave, ranked 30th against wide receivers. New York Giants ranked 22nd. He scored 20.4 and 13.4 against Arizona. So you can see the numbers drop a fair bit when he plays top 10 teams.
Yep.
He's killing everybody in the bottom half of the wide receiving market. But yeah, and comes up against the number 1. So it'd be very interesting to see how he goes this week against which is really hard when you think of Washington. You think start all your players against Washington, don't you?
You'd think.
But the defense has been good. So
That's hard to fathom because their D line obviously is very, very good.
Yeah.
But their linebackers are kind of trash. So I don't know
It's coming from the
where
secondary.
that stat comes from. They've obviously got a lot of guys. They've obviously got like the defensive backfield is just kind of playing as a unit. Like I don't think they've really got any stars in that defensive backfield. So.
Yeah, as you were talking about
Landon Collins. I'm sorry they do have, but anyway,
he's number 9 in the NFL in targets already.
Wow. Yep.
And we talk about the problems possibly with Dalton, but he was, as you said, he was good with Dalton, and actually his targets have been going up the last 2 weeks with Andy Dalton. He's had 10 and 11.
Okay.
So he might be the Andy Dalton safety valve.
Well, do you want me to mention another wide receiver? That was your flex, I know.
That was my flex. I just spoke about that now. I'll give you my first one, and that's Chase Claypool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, going
nice.
Mapletron.
Oh, mate, he looks fantastic. Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish I had him in the top 5 wide receivers. What the hell? A lot smarter than I do.
I have to confess, he's a guy that I feel like we just all missed on.
I don't know, Phil. Some people spoke about him. It's hard to tell with the quality of quarterback that he had. But no, you give him a good quarterback and he's shining the light.
I feel like it's one of those rules where, if Pittsburgh draft a wide receiver, you pay attention.
Yes.
That's what's going on.
Exactly.
They go about their business very, very quietly.
Yes.
Like Baltimore drafting a linebacker. But anyway.
So if you look at him week 2, he had 88 yards on the touch, 17.8 fantasy points. Then he went quiet in week 3. And then he had bye week in week 4, which is just charging the batteries. Mate, we saw what he did in week 5 against Philly. 110 yards, 3 TDs, 42.6 fantasy points.
Ridiculous.
And then he backed it up last week with 6 for 74, 18.1 fantasy points. So at the moment, you look at him and Juju. Juju's had 28 targets, averaging 5.6. Claypool's had 24, averaging 4.8. In the last 2 weeks, Juju's had 9, Washington's had 11, Claypool's had 15. So Big Ben's picked out his guy for 2020.
Yep.
You want me to move on to my second one, seeing you're distracted?
No, I'll give you my second one. How's that sound? It'll probably be the same as your second one.
Yep,
I reckon.
knock it out.
Now, let me tell you a little story. So in the preseason, I had CD in a league. I had CD Lamb. I drafted him, and I traded him in the preseason. I'm pissed that I traded him now. Obviously.
Okay.
Why would I do it?
Well, I wonder why people pick people up in the draft and then trade them before they've even played.
No, because I had a good offer, and
Okay.
I'm
It's one of
competing in
these.
this league.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know, but partly my thought was it's very crowded in Dallas, and I actually turned him into a running back. I can't remember who I got, but in the
Doesn't
deal,
matter. Who did I have as my number one wide receiver coming out?
I know, G, but here's
Listen
the
to
thing.
me.
In the deal, so
Yes.
I got a running back. I think it might have been Mixon or someone, but in the deal, I got as a throw-in Mr. T. Higgins.
Oh, nice throw in.
I think too.
So a little bit of vindication. I still am pretty cut that I traded CeeDee Lamb now, but T. Higgins is my second wide receiver, G.
He's mine.
There you go. Playing Cleveland this week. Okay, is that another mic drop? Boom. Boom.
He's going to light him up.
22 receptions, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is the number 2 wide receiver, I think you can now say, in Cincinnati. A person, my namesake, is Dunsky, Mr. Green.
Yes.
Is that fair? Yep.
Yes.
Well,
He
the video footage didn't exactly shine him in a beautiful light, did it? And he goes, why don't you trade me?
Oof. Yeah. I mean, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, that's and Joe Burrow obviously is the future of that organization.
He's still a young guy. He's only like 24 years old.
Yeah, well, that's right. Exactly. So, Mr. T. Higgins, who has been very impressive, G.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree. Up against Cleveland, as you said, who ranked 30th against the pass, giving up 45.3 fantasy points on average. Now, the Cleveland has allowed the most targets to wide receivers this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we've seen the connection now. And the thing I'm really liking about T. Higgins and Burrow is Burrow has absolutely no reservations about throwing a 50-50 ball to T. Higgins.
Mm. Oh,
Already.
yeah. Yep.
It's great. It's total trust.
Yeah.
So the chemistry's strong there. And let's have a look at what T. Higgins has done, as you said, AJ, with some of the numbers. Mate, two of the big games that he's had, he played against the Colts and the Ravens, two of the best pass defenses in the league. No problems. So everything, like we said before, the rookies have come out and
Colts, I'll put it up there, G. Colts, their best is the run D, mate.
Run D?
Their pass Ds. Yeah.
Okay. Mate, it's a rookie.
Yeah, I know he's a rookie. He's got no film on him.
Okay, so we'll have a look at the Cincy snap count. We've got Boyd running at the top with 348. We've got AJ Green at 296, and we've got T. Higgins at 288. Okay?
Yep.
So Boyd leads in targets with AJ Green second, obviously, and Higgins third. But in the last 2 weeks, he's been the top target in Cincy as old T. Higgins.
Wow.
And in the past 2 games, he's also out-snapped now Boyd.
Wow.
And he has an amazing per-target average of 11.5.
Okay.
So,
Well, you know who's going to be lined up on him?
yes. And he's given up 4 TDs already.
The Warden of the North.
Yeah. Who's on him?
I reckon Denzel will play on him.
Denzel Ward. Who's the other guy? Sorry, who's your other?
Terrence Money Mitchell.
One of them's given up 4. I can't remember which one it was. Already given up 4 TDs this year.
Andrew Sendejo, who plays floating safety,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
who's 33 years old, or who was not,
Yes.
who was not brought in to play free safety or strong safety. He was brought in to be a bit player with Double Deuce, who tore his Achilles.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't him either. You got another filling corner down there, mate. They're using
Unslept.
no.
It'll be. I'm pretty sure it'll be Andrews and Dejo.
Okay. So
Yeah, he's a
let's,
bit
let's,
average.
let's get away.
No,
He's just
he-
making his choice for the Browns.
When Double Deuce does his Achilles jumping 3 centimeters off the ground, you go, we're in trouble.
Got to get
well,
Ronnie Harrison on the park.
Ronnie is back. Ronnie is out of concussion protocol, so
Good.
you may see Ronnie also with Denzel for the Warden of the North and Ronnie. I reckon. We'll see. I mean, if Cleveland loses this, they're going down a rabbit hole, and that's
Oof.
not a good sign.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Really?
At tight end.
Tight end. This is very hard.
This is hard. This is not just thrown at a dartboard. This is thrown to a dartboard with a blindfold on, being spun around, and they've moved the dartboard.
After a
Why
bottle. Okay.
Yeah, why they've been spinning you around.
Okay. I was tempted to say Harrison Bryant,
I
but
was too, but I didn't.
I didn't.
No, wise choice.
And the reason I didn't is only because I feel like the Browns are playing Njoku a bit to try and attract a trade partner for him. So, but then after Njoku's out the building, then we'll see a bit more of Harrison Bryant.
And you've also got Austin Hooper still there.
Yes.
So
Disappointing.
he's
Mr. Hooper.
basically the third man on a tight end depth chart. Be a bit different. Be a bit different if you're a third man on a wide receiving depth chart.
Oh, yeah.
But third man on tight end depth chart, not a good place to be.
No. So I put sort of reluctantly, because I had to pick someone, I put Cole Kmet.
Oh, don't lie. Just based on last week.
Yeah. He's
Go
3
with
for 32 with 1 touchdown. Yes, Andrew. Yeah, surely only Kmet. That's it. They're playing the Rams. The Bears are playing the Rams this week.
I go with the hot hand. Roll with
guess.
the hot hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's okay. That's the tight end class this year wasn't like everybody wasn't jumping. I walking hot coals to pick up any of these blokes, were they?
No.
Really? It was a pretty.
The show we did on tight ends, pretty much none of the ones that I had selected that I thought would go that had height, size, and speed. None of them went.
No. Okay, so that was easy, G.
That was easy. That was good. Done. Finished. And we did our flex spot, obviously, with you having
CEH.
CEH and I having CD Lamb. So I do
Yes.
like my team. We've probably actually got the same plays.
Probably. And
We
just,
have-
I might just
Who-
mention,
sorry,
and I
did you
know
have-
that,
did you have Chase Claypool?
no, I didn't know.
Who did you have? Sorry, who were your
I
two?
said CD Lamb. I had CD Lamb.
Yeah, and who was your other?
T.
And
Higgins.
T. Higgins. Okay.
And I had
Okay.
Swift and Robinson and then CEH in the flex. But
Yeah.
I might just mention, and obviously the Colts are on a bye this week. But Jonathan Taylor would be in our teams, I think, easily otherwise.
That is a fair call.
Because 367 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground and add 16 receptions for 162 yards. He has been fantastic.
Yeah, he'd be taking my DeAndre Swift position. For me.
Ooh, yeah, he probably would. And again, see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Look at how many rookies there are that are doing well.
Yes.
It's incredible. And there's lots that we haven't mentioned, right? So we haven't mentioned Visca. Who else haven't we mentioned? Ruggs. Oh, you mentioned Ruggs. G.
Ruggs. Yeah. Mate, Ruggs, when Ruggs is on the field, the offense looks better. With a rookie wide receiver, they look better. They look more dangerous with him on the park.
Yes. Who else haven't we mentioned that we should?
Mate, I'm just trying to go through. I can't actually think, AJ, to be honest.
I'll tell you the only one that I reckon's a miss at this stage, and I'm kicking myself in a couple of leagues I took him, and a lot of people would be the same, is Keyshawn Vaughn. And you think of around that time when you would have taken Keyshawn Vaughn, which would be around the end of the first or early second, somewhere around there, perhaps. If you took anyone else, you probably had a hit. You know what I mean?
If we can get back before him.
More than likely, yes.
Yes.
Mate, he had a few good yards last week. Couple of good carries.
Yeah, but Ronald Jones has looked like he's turned the corner.
Ronald Jones, yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So
He looks
all those
very, very
people-
good.
All those people that stuck by him for another year, thank you. I think he's on nearly every one of my, especially my redraft teams.
Oh, Hutch, thank you. Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Oh, there's so many. This is the thing. I don't know. I think we're going to look back at this draft class and just like our jaws will drop to the floor. Like in 12 months' time, we'll think, wow, that 2019 draft, or 2020, we should say, 2020 draft class was incredible. I mean, we've already got Herbert and Burrow. We could have Tua. We could have 3 franchise quarterbacks out of this class. We could have, half a dozen like franchise level running backs. We could have, I don't know.
AJ. They're Shannon Brown, aren't they?
Well, yes and no. I think these guys, though, Taylor Robinson, and we haven't seen Cam Akers particularly yet. Cam Akers still to come. J.K. Dobbins still to come.
Yeah. But you're going to pay him 5, 6, 7 year contracts?
AJ Dillon. Woo!
AJ Dillon.
He had a couple of bloody runs last week that he cleaned up a few blokes, which
was third on the depth chart. He's third on the depth chart.
Yeah, mate. Aaron Jones, miles ahead. But
I mean, we often
takes an injury.
Yep, absolutely. Look, you say it often takes a couple of years before you can judge a draft class, but I think we can almost say right now that this draft class is amazing.
Great draft.
It's been very good. Very good, the wide receiver and the quarterback. And if we can get 3 out of this one class, that's going to be leaving the last couple of years wanting, hasn't it?
Oh, it certainly does already, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems like this was a good year to pick a quarterback. So
yes, so far.
But next year looks like it's a good year to pick a quarterback too.
It could be, yes. It could be absolutely.
There's a few names.
With quarterbacks in the coming years. Well, we've got a few guys just about to exit the building, basically, haven't we?
We do.
So we need that We need that turnover.
What do you got? You got probably 4, 5. Drew
in the next.
Breeze,
TB.
Brady.
Yep.
Rivers.
Yep.
How much time's Roethlisberger got?
Ben's
not close, or a year or 2.
This is the thing. People that have and pitchers talk about this, and I was listening to some different podcasts talk about this in regards to Ben. What he said, his arm and elbow feel amazing, and this is what a lot of pitchers who get the Tommy John surgery say for the first 2 or 3 years. So was he 37 to the 8?
He
Yeah,
must be getting up there.
Yeah, so he could potentially go for another 3 years.
Matt Ryan.
I'd love to be 37.
Matt Ryan's up there, G. Matt Ryan.
Ryan? We could be getting a quarterback this year. I've only won 1 game.
Yeah, you could.
All right.
What's his face in Detroit? And Aaron Rodgers.
Who's Stafford?
Stafford. No, he's still got years ahead of him.
He's got years.
Yeah.
So,
Rodgers is starting to get up there, though.
Yeah, Rodgers is 35.
36, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think.
Obviously, drafting Love, that's
Oof.
writing on the wall, isn't it, really?
Just terrible. They could have picked any wide receiver, as we've been saying, any wide receiver. Any one of them. It would have been amazing.
What he wouldn't have done with like what we're seeing from T. Higgins right now, or CD Lamb.
Can you imagine?
Or even the speed of Ruggs, or Justin Jefferson. Any of those guys to complement Devontae Adams,
OBJ, and Jarvis.
Well, I don't know if some of those guys would have been a fit. T. Higgins, oof. I think T. Higgins would have been a good fit.
CD Lamb?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't know if they could have.
Good route runner.
CD Lamb was gone by the time they were on the board.
No,
wasn't he?
I appreciate that. But I mean, just
Yes, he was.
Just his route running abilities, his preciseness, his hands and everything. Aaron Rodgers would thrive with like that.
Yeah.
Andrew's just put a stat up here. Thanks, Andrew. Salary cap in 2021 is 175 million. 13 teams over that. 4 teams also over 175 for 2022. Eagles and Saints are both over 260 million for 2021. Yeah, interesting times ahead, no doubt.
It'll be very interesting.
This is why the Jets and the Vikings are starting to do what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dumping what they can, and draft stock is going to be your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, judging by how the Falcons are going, we must be so far on this the salary cap because we can't be paying all those players big money.
Julio Jones $175 million a year.
Hey, the Chiefs kept everybody, mate. Brown paper bags are back in fashion.
Mate, you get a New South Wales cap, you get an Australian baggy green, you get a Chiefs Super Bowl ring, and you get a golden handshake.
Yeah, beautiful. Love it.
Exactly. Well, listen,
right, AJ?
That's pretty much it. We can put a pin in this and go and enjoy the rest of our week.
Good luck, Dave.
I don't know if anything's happening tomorrow. Is anything happening tomorrow?
Some game of
football or something.
Melbourne Storm. They're playing.
They are too, mate. You know what? Like, I'm not like I follow the Tigers, but I'm not one of these.
Really?
Well, it's good when they win, but I'm not a big follower, so I'm not going to make a big dance about it. I don't rub it in people's faces when they win because I'm not a big enough fan to do that. But I get more pleasure from the Melbourne Storm sticking it up, bloody Queensland and New South Wales, than I probably get from my own team winning the AFL Grand Final.
Well, as diehard a Geelong supporter as I am, I think the Tigers will do it by 32-35.
Nah, I think the Cats have a smoke.
Nah. The umpires, the AFL and Richmond.
Oh, here we go.
They've got Richmond coming home.
Yeah, everybody had to go at Richmond. What? I didn't realise that someone like Dangerfield can actually handball with one hand to Gary Ablett.
Tell you what, he does.
So don't start that.
Gee, you remember the South
Better man, Dave. Better man than that.
remember the South Australian handball?
Mate.
In the Adelaide Crows first joy, and that was a South Australian handball.
Mate, there's nothing wrong with tunnelling in football.
No.
Tunnel the ball. Mate, come on.
Probably these on blokes' heads, isn't he? Lynch is his name, isn't it? They're good at doing that.
Oh, mate, he's just the things he does, mate. Seriously, for a game that's played by men, and this is what shits me about especially about Aussie rules, is the stuff that people whinge and bitch and moan and call people dirty are just the most pathetically wimpy fucking things. Like, we grew up in the hard days of football, right?
I'm taking the P155.
I know you are, but I'm just talking to everybody else that's listening. It does like absolute head in.
Yes.
Of the style, lynch this, like. Mate, do you know why you talk about Lynch? Because none of you fucking have him on your football team. That's why.
I've come across harder 3-day-old marshmallows than some of the people that are commenting on both the and I shake my head when I see some of these calls that get called in the game that we're talking about tonight, helmet to helmet. The blokes are bracing themselves. They take a catch as a wide receiver. The secondary comes in to make a tackle. They both lower a shoulder. It just happens to be helmet to helmet. And it's not a deliberate helmet to helmet. It's not targeting. Some of the blokes that have been ejected from games, you kind of, and I'm sure you blokes too, are sitting there going, how in God's green earth are you ejected for that? Because it's about image. It's about perception. It's about absolutely trying to get the next generation to play the game. But the next generation that are going to play the game, mate, they'll be playing flag at the rate we're going.
Mate, no, I always find you're always going to have people that don't care about the perception of what it looks like, because there's enough people in the United States, there's enough people socially, economically in a poorer position than others that are going to go and play football and have the talent to play football, and they don't care because they're going to make a lot of money playing the game. I'm more concerned about roughing the passer bullshit decisions that are going when someone pushes a guy as soon as. Sorry, AJ, you're spinning me up. But this is the old get off my lawn. But you go and have a look at some of the roughing the passes from last week's games, which are absolutely pathetic.
You're absolutely right. Well, okay. Tell me on in good reason why the coaches were fined in the first 2 weeks for not wearing masks, when every player and every coach and every person that is there on the sideline is tested daily. Everyone has to get a negative test, 3 tests in a row. It's because it's for TV's sake.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Sure.
And you're right.
Which is quite weird, Dave, when one of the worst places is Florida, and they've got people at every game, every Florida game.
People, like, what is going on? Like,
Anyway.
Come to a rally of 65,000 people with no mask. What's going on?
Yeah, let's not start
listen.
let's not start on him.
Let's wrap this up, guys, because the other thing, which I might just mention, dropped today. Borat's new movie has dropped. And before this, I watched the first 5 minutes, and man, I was just like, LOL, literally laughing out loud. So I'm going to go watch that, and that looks fantastic.
One serious NFL question. Washington beat the Cowboys. Who's going to win?
I still think that's a tough one, because the Cowboys are in a bit of a free fall at the moment. They go up against a very good defense. They got Andy Dalton, a quarterback.
But how long is he going to be quarterback?
And the problem is, like, Kyle Allen is just a mediocre quarterback, but last week he can get it done. And the Cowboys defense,
you got wins with the
where is it played?
This is one.
In Washington, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's Cowboys at Washington.
I'm going to go the home team.
Ooh. Gee. Dalton just didn't look good.
Doesn't look comfortable in that system.
No, he did not look good. It's hard to back the boys, but they've just got. And here's the other thing, and I could easily have predicted this. It was a no-brainer. Is that what are you going to do with Ezekiel Elliott if Andy Dalton is under center? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to stack the box, and you're going to just bottle up Zeke, and Zeke isn't going to get 1 yard, right, without fighting for it. And so what happened? Well, Zeke was absolutely bottled up. I think he maybe had a couple of runs. Maybe Dalton dished it out to him a couple of times in space, but Zeke's numbers were terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't help when you fumble 2 balls in a row.
True, but that was because of how many bloody people were around him.
Yeah, they were on top of him.
He's good enough to know, mate. You get that ball, you hold on to that, mate, like your life depends on it. And
Absolutely.
And he didn't. You have both of the fumbles, mate. They just didn't have it wrapped up.
Yep. Oh, and the O-line. Good point, Andrew. And that Washington D-line is that Washington D-line is amazing.
And the Cowboys are missing the center as well, aren't they?
They're missing their entire. They're on
the third. They're on the third center, aren't they? Like
second, third, fourth string.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, let's wrap this up, Dave. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Good to have you.
Thanks for tolerating my shenanigans again, AJ.
No. It's absolutely our pleasure, and we will at some point when we're out of like stage 17 restrictions, we'll do it in person.
Yes, lovely. It'll be awesome. And I'm sure I'll hear from you tomorrow night at some stage, G, one way or t'other.
No, I'm pretty good. I'm not one of those dudes, mate. I don't do that. I might become one. And next week with Dave won't be with us, but we'll have some less fortunate person that we'll do on the podcast.
Keep safe, boys. Have a great
You too.
week.
Thanks
Thanks
Dave.
very much, guys. Thank you. And on behalf of G and Dave and myself, have a good week. We'll catch you next time. And on that note, I'm going to end broadcast.